So I salute you all. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching. So basically today we are under the law of negligence. That is Tort Law 2. And the topic that we are going to look at under negligence, it is the topic of the rescue situations basically in the law of negligence. We are looking at the ideas whereby we have three elements of negligence. We have duty of care, we have breach of care, and we have injury stroke impact. We have seen a lot of elements under duty of care for liability, reasonableness, fairness, proximity, among others, as we, in our recent video that we conducted about the elements of negligence. Now today we are looking at the rescue situations. Rescue situations, these are areas whereby you rescue someone. As you hear the word rescue, that someone is in danger, you come in for your rescue. Perhaps when someone is injured by negligence and the plaintiff enters in to rescue the injured person, that person can claim for damages basically. A rescuer can claim, you get, for damages. That's the point that I'm trying to deprive, that a rescuer can also claim for damages basically. Note that in mind. And what we are having here, we have the case of Wagner versus International Roy Company. Wagner, that is Wagner. Wagner. Under this case, this was the plaintiff and his cousin basically who boarded the car at a station. The conductor did not close the door very well, and the cousin ended up actually losing. Actually, I don't know, but the cousin moved out, fell outside, and as a result, the cousin was injured severely, of which actually he was injured severely. And at the time, it turned out that the cousin had what? Had lost his life. So when this plaintiff came in as a rescue, he was shocked actually, seeing the cousin basically. The plaintiff, when he arrived at the scene, he found his cousin's body lost in blood. It is having severely injured basically. So as a result, he fell from the structure and was injured because of that shock. So they sued for the defendant for the injuries he sustained basically. But however, the trial court chased his claim and he appealed. So the issue was, is a rescuer or is a rescue a foreseeable act? Is it foreseeable, a rescue? So in the court basically had something to say in this case of Wagner. First of all, the damages, danger invites rescue. That's the general rule. Even though you're out there and you see someone, when someone falls, you cannot leave him just basically. You go there to help. That's the element that brings that danger calls for rescue. And the law does not ignore that conduct basically. The law doesn't ignore. You get, danger invites rescue. That's one of it. Secondly, the second where we can say, or what we can look at, is that emergency begets a man, whereby a wrongdoer will not have foreseen the coming of the deliverer in accountability of his or her act basically. What do I mean emergency begets a man? That someone must have foreseen that if this thing happens on a person, it is an emergency basically. It is an emergency, and it doesn't need you for you to prepare basically. Emergency begets a mind. And also, all that is required is that the rescuer must be in substance basically. Basically here what we are meaning is that there must be unbroken continuity between the commission of the wrong and the effect of the rescue. You get that unbroken continuity between the commission of the wrong and the effect to the consequence basically, or the injury that someone has sustained in that essence basically. Note that in mind. And basically that's what was highlighted in the case of Wagner. That case basically, that's what was highlighted. Now in this essence, Quote, the key elements is that danger invites rescue. So a rescuer can recover damages, basically can recover damages. You have the case of Highness versus Howard. Highness is Haynes versus Howard, Harwood. Howard. This was a defendant who left a horse unattended to. So it was near the crowd. So this horse-drawn van escaped, and it was going into a crowd, and it was going into a crowd because the boy had thrown a stone into it. So a police officer tried to stop the horses to save a woman because it was going to injure the woman. So the children who were in the path of the bolting, so he got injured as a result. Basically, the court held that the defendant owed a duty of care as he had created a source of danger by leaving his horse unattended to. What do I mean here is that once for you the defendant, a rescuer is like a third party in this essence. Note that in mind. The reason as to why that they are called rescuers, they are like a third party in this essence. There is the defendant, the one that has committed the wrong, the one that is negligent, and the one that is going to be injured by the negligent act. But there is that in between person who is the rescuer. You get, he can recover. You get, in this essence is that the person wants to, maybe is going to be affected by the acts of the person, but this one comes into rescue. But they must make sure that the acts of the defendant, they are negligent. He had the duty of care, he breached the duty of care, which led to injury and damage, basically. Note that in what? In mind, that essence. And also what you have to know is that the right of a rescuer to maintain an action for negligence is an independent right. What do I mean an independent right? First of all, a person cannot sue on your behalf. That is one of it. And also, for you to sue for as a rescuer, you don't need to prove that maybe the other person that you are rescuing recovered or didn't recover. In case also he or she is injured, also you don't need, it is an independent right. No one can claim on your behalf, and you don't need to base on the other party that you are rescuing. You get, for it is independent. It is an independent right. For example, when you read the case of VIDEN versus British Transport Commission, under this case, basically, the court held that that's where the principle came that a right to rescue is an independent right. Reason being, this was a father that had gone with the children at the at the train station. So as a result, when they went, one of the boys went missing, basically. So Tanishing, he realized that the boy was on the railway and the train was coming. So he rushed there to the rescue. When he fell, actually, when he was running after the child, he threw himself in the train, the railway, so that it can stop. So he died as a result. He was injured and died. So the widow, who is the wife, broke in an action to recover damages for the death of his husband. Remember, the husband now was like a rescuer. You get, but the court held that he couldn't recover. Reason being that a rescue to recover damages under the rescue situation is an independent right, whereby someone cannot recover on behalf of a rescuer. That essence. So basically, note that in what? In mind. And without much ado, that's the brief that we can talk about the rescue situations. Basically, rescue situations, the act must be negligent for rescuer to recover. For a rescuer, you must prove that the danger invited your act, emergency begets a man, and there must be unbroken continuity between the commission of the wrong and the effect or the consequence that has led to your injury, basically. That's why there is where they lament that the rescuer's action need not to be immediate, but there must be unbroken what? Continuity. Basically, once you prove that, the only essence you have to prove the other side that the acts of the defendant were negligent, following the three elements that we speculated. But other than that, thank you for listening, and thank you for listening, and thank you for watching. Stay blessed. Keep on liking the videos and keep on sharing. Good luck. Thank you.